there's a moment when the silence hits harder than the applause ever did. A moment when you realize that the smiles you've worked so hard to earn were never for you. They were for what you could do for them. You've been chasing validation like it's the air you breathe, but now you're suffocating. Every yes you gave away took another piece of you, and now there's nothing left. You stand in the mirror looking at a stranger, someone who has mastered the art of making others happy, but forgotten how to find happiness within themselves. And you ask, why am I so empty? How did trying to make everyone else whole leave me shattered? This isn't a story about defeat. This is a story about breaking free. It starts small. A favor here, a compromise there. You don't even notice it at first. Maybe it's agreeing to help a friend even though you're already drowning in your own responsibilities. Or biting your tongue when someone disrespects you because confrontation feels like too much. You tell yourself it's no big deal. After all, isn't that what good people do? They help. They sacrifice. But what they don't tell you is that every yes comes with a cost. And the currency? You. Every time you bend over backwards to meet someone else's expectations, you're slowly breaking your own spine. You're teaching the world that your boundaries are negotiable, that your time and energy are infinite, that your needs don't matter. But here's the hard truth. The more you give, the more they'll take. And the more you let them take, the less of you there is. Pleasing everyone is a performance. You've perfected your role. The dependable friend, the accommodating partner, the hard-working employee. Your mask is flawless. People admire you. They praise your selflessness. They call you a good person. And it feels good, doesn't it? For a moment, their approval fills the void. But the problem with masks is that they're suffocating. The longer you wear it, the harder it becomes to remember who you are underneath. You start to lose yourself in the act, mistaking their applause for purpose, their validation for worth. And here's the thing about people who constantly wear masks. Deep down, they're terrified. Terrified that if they ever stop performing, the applause will stop. The approval will vanish. They'll be left with nothing but the silence. And themselves. Eventually, there comes a night when you're alone. No one's asking for anything. No one's demanding your time, your energy, your love. And instead of feeling relief, you feel hollow. Because you've spent so long being everything for everyone else that you don't know how to be anything for yourself. You've been so consumed with making others happy that you've forgotten how to make yourself happy. And now, in the quiet of that empty room, you're forced to confront the truth. You've neglected yourself. But here's where the shift happens. That emptiness, it's not a punishment, it's an opportunity. A blank slate, a chance to rebuild. Saying no feels wrong at first. It feels selfish, like you're letting people down. But let me ask you this. When was the last time you said yes to yourself? When was the last time you put your needs above someone else's? If the answer doesn't come easily, then it's time to rewrite the rules. Saying no isn't selfish. It's survival. It's drawing a line in the sand and saying, this is what I'm willing to give, and this is what I'm not. It's reclaiming your time, your energy, your life. And the more you do it, the stronger you become. Will people get upset? Probably. Will some walk away? Maybe. But the ones who truly care about you, the ones who see you as more than just what you can do for them, will stay. And those are the people worth keeping. Rebuilding isn't easy. It means facing the parts of yourself you've ignored for years. It means learning how to be alone without feeling lonely. It means discovering what actually makes you happy. Not what you've been told should make you happy, but what genuinely sets your soul on fire. Maybe it's pursuing a passion you've put on the back burner. Maybe it's taking time to rest without feeling guilty. Maybe it's simply sitting with yourself and asking, what do I need today? This journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about coming home to yourself. Here's a radical idea. It's okay to disappoint people. It's okay to let them down. Because their happiness is not your responsibility. You are not a vessel for their expectations. You are a person with your own needs, your own dreams, your own life. Disappointing others is a sign that you're prioritizing yourself. It's a sign that you're finally saying, I matter too. The irony is that when you stop trying to please everyone, you actually become more fulfilled. When you start saying no to others and yes to yourself, you create space for the things that truly matter. You build deeper, more authentic relationships. You pursue passions that bring you joy. You find a sense of peace that no amount of external validation can provide. And one day, you'll look in the mirror and see someone you recognize, someone who isn't defined by what they do for others, but by who they are. Someone who is whole. When you live to please others, you trick yourself into believing you have control. Control over their emotions, their opinions, their approval. But here's the truth. No matter how much you bend, compromise, or sacrifice, you will never control how someone else feels about you. And isn't that exhausting? Spending your life trying to influence something that was never yours to control. The people who truly matter won't demand perfection from you. They won't measure your worth by what you can do for them. They'll accept you as you are, flawed, imperfect, human. Let go of the illusion. Let go of the need to control. Free yourself. Guilt is a cunning enemy. It whispers in your ear, making you question every decision you make for yourself. Are you being selfish? It asks. What will they think of you? But guilt is just a shadow, a byproduct of the years you've spent prioritizing others over yourself. It isn't a sign that you're doing something wrong. It's a sign that you're breaking free. Every time guilt rears its head, remind yourself of this. Your happiness matters. Your well-being matters. And choosing yourself isn't just acceptable, it's necessary. You've been chasing an impossible standard, to be everything for everyone, to never make mistakes, to never let anyone down. But perfection is a myth. It's an illusion that keeps you running in circles, chasing a goal you'll never reach. And the worst part? While you're busy striving for perfection, life is passing you by. What if you let go of the need to be perfect? What if you embraced your flaws, your humanity, your messy, beautiful self? Because the truth is, perfection doesn't make you lovable. Your authenticity does. When you're a people pleaser, you think you're making everyone happy. But let's face it, are they ever really satisfied? There's always one more thing they need, one more way you can help. And every time you comply, they take it as confirmation that you'll keep showing up, keep bending, keep breaking. But what happens when you finally hit your limit? When you've given so much that there's nothing left? That's when they vanish. That's when the people you gave your heart to turn their backs, looking for someone else to fill the void you used to occupy. People-pleasing doesn't build real relationships, it builds dependence. And when you stop feeding that dependence, the truth comes out. Most people didn't value you. They valued what you could give. Underneath the surface, beneath the forced smiles and fake "it's okay" responses is a fire. A fire you've been told to ignore. Because anger isn't nice, and nice is what you've always been told to be. But that anger, that's your soul screaming to be heard. It's every boundary you didn't enforce. Every no you swallowed. Every time you put someone else's comfort above your own well-being. And it's not your enemy. Anger, when controlled, is power. It's the fuel that says enough is enough. It's the force that breaks the cycle and gives you the strength to start over. So stop burying it. Harness it. Let it remind you of what you deserve and what you'll no longer tolerate. You've been conditioned to believe that putting yourself first is selfish. But have you ever noticed how often the people calling you selfish are the ones benefiting from your selflessness? Here's the truth. Selfish isn't a bad word. Selfish means valuing yourself enough to protect your time, your energy, your mental health. It means recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup. It means finally treating yourself with the same care and consideration you've been giving to everyone else. Being selfish isn't wrong. It's necessary. Walking away from the role of people pleaser is lonely. You'll lose people. People who can't handle your boundaries. People who only stayed because you made their lives easier. And that loneliness, it cuts deep, because it feels like proof that you were right all along, that your worth really was tied to what you could do for others. But that's a lie. The loneliness is temporary. It's the price of shedding what doesn't serve you to make room for what does. It's not the end. It's the beginning. When you've spent your life living for others, your own voice becomes a whisper. You don't know what you like, what you want, or even who you are without their input. But here's the thing about whispers. They can grow into roars. Start small. Ask yourself, what do I want? Not what someone else expects, not what will make them happy. What do you want? And when the answer comes, act on it. No apologies, no explanations. Just you, reclaiming your power, one choice at a time. When you stop people-pleasing, you'll lose people. But you'll also gain something invaluable, clarity. The people who stay are the ones who see your worth beyond what you can do for them. They respect your boundaries, they celebrate your growth, they love you for you. These are your people. Hold on to them. You've spent so long trying to be perfect, perfectly accommodating, perfectly agreeable, perfectly everything. But perfection is a prison. The beauty of imperfection is that it's real. It's messy. It's human. And when you embrace it, you give others permission to do the same. Stop striving for perfection. Start striving for authenticity. Your legacy isn't the number of people you've pleased. It's the impact you've made by living authentically, by showing others that it's okay to put yourself first, by breaking the cycle of self-sacrifice and creating a new standard, one of balance, of respect, of self-love. This journey isn't about becoming someone new. It's about coming home to the person you've always been, the one who's been waiting beneath the surface, hidden by the expectations of others. So here you are, no longer living for their applause, no longer wearing a mask, no longer empty. For the first time, you're living for you. So here you are, standing on the edge of a new beginning. The applause is gone, the mask is off, and the room is empty. But for the first time in a long time, you're not afraid, because you've learned that your worth isn't tied to what you can do for others. Your worth is inherent. It's unshakable. And now, you're ready to live for yourself. Not to please everyone else, but to finally please the one person who matters most. You. That's all. I'm out. By the way, if you want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Until next time.